up, Chester?
What's going on, brother?
Oh man, trying
I
to
have dog
sleep.
slap around me
Yeah, trying to get my
because I have
sleep and
lots of dogs.
stay normal. You got dogs. I got a baby. Your dogs. Your
Things
dogs
happen.
are more annoying than my child. My child is amazing.
Like 1,000%.
She's the
By the
best.
way, your baby. Well, I guess your baby could slap around you. I literally have dogs slap around me. My dogs were super excited that I was eating because I may or may not feed them quite often, like I'm not supposed to. And now I have
Just give
dog
them
slap
chocolate.
around
They
me.
love chocolate. Hook them up with like a good bar of chocolate, like
Oh man,
solid.
it's got to be dark chocolate
Yeah,
though.
solid dark chocolate, like full Himalayan salt, like hook up. You know what I mean?
Hook it up.
So, but what's up,
Uh,
man? How are you doing?
I'm doing good until I just realized that instead of me being right having Vulcan in the center of my background, I am now Vulcan's dick. So I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, in reality, you'd actually be shorter than that if you were next to Vulcan. You'd be like at his kneecaps.
No, I'd be about dick. I'm dick level on
I
a
don't know. You're
fucking
pretty freaking
Russian
short, dude.
miner.
I don't know. I saw that charity hammer thing, and you stood next to this tall guy, and it made you look really, really short. So
Oh, dude,
I don't know
he's
what's going
six
on.
seven, man. That's not my.
Do numbers
Yeah,
go
yeah.
that high?
Daniel is broken.
But yeah, no. Daniel is not on the podcast. He's been taking some time off for vacation. He's going through some changes for his work. He's taking on a new job, and now he's got the Rona. It's pretty.
What?
He's got the Delta. Didn't you get his text? He's got fevers,
No,
chills, and in bed. I mean, he
I
didn't
thought he
say
was just sick.
he didn't say he has the Rona. He said he's just sick. But like right now in this time in this day and time, like if you get any sickness of any kind, people just assume it's the Rona. I said it was the Rona. I was like, yo,
Cisco,
got
for
the Rona.
sure. I can't turn around. There's going to be too much BBC right in my face.
Do not turn around, bro. But anyways, it's been a while since we've done a cast. We took a week off. I know we had a lot of stuff going on, so we were out for a week.
I was a charity hammer.
Yeah, you were at Charity Hammer.
I
I
died on
was
stream.
I was creating a schedule routine for feeding a baby on intervals of 2 to 3 hours consecutively for 24-hour periods. Seems intense. But we're back, and Charity Hammer went well. You guys raised a lot of money. Good job to the team doing that. That's awesome. I saw some of the streams. I saw the stream where you just absolutely wrecked Nick with orcs. That was funny.
I played a ton of orcs over the weekend, dude. I had a great time with them. The orcs might be one of the funnest armies I've played in a long time. I don't know if where they rank because I played the whole weekend. I played a bunch of my Dark Eldar, and I played a bunch of orcs, and I had more fun playing the orcs. But I think that the Drukhari might just be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. Brad threw the tourney. I wish I threw the tourney, guys. I literally just my brain broke. Colin did have the best thing because I felt kind of bad because I just literally at the middle of the game I was just like, hey man, I gotta go. Like I took a turn and a half off. I didn't move any models basically. I didn't put anybody on objectives. It was a good time. But he looks over and he goes, oh man, we took the dude with health problems and we never let him sleep and we made him play 40K every 3 hours and then he had health issues. No way. We all expected it. It's not a big deal, Brad. I was like, all right.
Seems rough. I was actually surprised, for you right now, because I hung out with you in Michigan, and Michigan's not very far from Ohio, so you kind of shut down there. So I was like, you're going all the way to Seattle to like playing garages. By the way, where was that tournament? It looks like it's literally in some dude's like large house.
Dude, he has like a fucking villa or something. He has two different giant garages, a pool house, and then the main house. By the way, it's in a cul-de-sac where all the rest of the houses are like normal size houses. So it looks like he like did a hostile takeover of the rest of the neighborhood and just stole all their stuff. Because he has a giant compound and everyone else has like a little normal place. It's like he was like, I have invaded in the name of Colin. I'm taking over your things.
Yeah, that's
Frog
what
King.
that's
Yes,
what it
indeed.
looked like. So, but yeah. So what's your favorite thing about the orcs? You said you had fun. What are you having fun with?
I've really do the thing is that I think there's so many the only thing I don't think is viable, and everybody can throw me to the bus because a couple people have won with this, but I still just don't think orc shooting is legit. I think that all the punchy and the board control is the shit. Just MSU orcs. I've been having fun with Goffs, dude. Like Storm Boys, Beast Snagger boys. Of course, 3 units of 3 something of truck boys. You know what I mean? 3 detachments, each one a truck. I did not play in Orlando. It's just, I was to say, Sean and I did go on yesterday. That is true. But effectively, I just play a lot of the punch. I love the War Boss and Mega Armor, making him a truck boy, giving him the 1-up, 4-up. I love the Beast Boss and Squigosaur with Beast Hide and Art as Nails. So that dude's literally T7, -1 to wound, -1 damage with a 5-up feel no pain. That dude's a monster. The indirect shooting is broken. The indirect shooting is not broken. It hits on a 4. It's
the squig launcher, the nitro squig guy.
Yeah, yeah, that dude's really good. That is true. I just have to believe harder. You've actually said that too. I got to believe in the WOG more.
I think there might be something with orc shooting, but it's just nowhere near as good as it was, and that's a big change. That's a big change.
I did a whole thing on it, and I did it. You argued with me about it, and so I had Adam Lane do full out computations against the old orc shooting versus new orc shooting, and old orc shooting is significantly better.
Yeah,
so
I would agree. Yeah,
but dude, I don't know. It's just it has a lot of flavor. There's a lot of weird units. There's a lot of different stuff. I don't know. I have so many units. I just like playing MSU for one, and I can do that really wacky with orcs. And I do love the fact that every single one of the characters bangs. You know what I mean? So they do have the problem with that you can't take certain things. I wish like for instance, Squig Hog Boys were beasts instead of cavalry, because I'd love to take them. I think they're a great unit. But man, there's just so much shit that is parking lot.
Yeah, I wish DACA was considered assault, because like the whole army wants to move.
Yeah.
So like if you could do DACA with move and run and still fire it, that would be really cool. I think that would maybe shift a little bit more positivity towards the shooting approach with orcs, because then you could do a lot of really cool stuff with bikes and things. But the fact that you can't,
because I want to zoom my bikes up a lot. I wish they were assault, because like I consistently take, because I use a couple units of war bikes most of my armies, and I love them for move blocking and shit. But like, I'm almost always advancing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You're almost always advancing them, because it makes no sense not to. And and it sucks that you can't shoot them because they have so many bullets. So it could be interesting. It could be good. But yeah, the fact that DACA got changed, it's a big change to this shooting. But I mean, in terms of assault, you still have the Goffs, which are super good at bonus attacks across the board.
Diago, I love Death Copters. Death Copters go into every army for me. But dude, I underrated them at first because I wasn't taking big enough dude. Like, I'm bringing all 10-mans now, like 2 10-man Storm Boys, a 10-man Commando, 10-man Beast Snaggers, and the big thing is that +1 strength. Exploding sixes are no joke. You know what I mean? We've seen those for anybody that has exploding sixes.
Yeah.
They're just good. Is that getting effectively 17% more wounds through, you know what I mean? Because you flip that script, you know what I mean? You're going to strength 5, so you're wounding 4s on 3s. The beast snaggers are going to strength 6, so anybody when they're hitting the stuff that's all the T3 stuff, they're hitting wounding on deuces. Your face froze completely for a minute there. It looked really weird. That's
my face did freeze for a minute.
How do you feel orcs go into the new K-Suns and GK? I think they go into 1,000 Suns super well because they've got a ton of nonsense to put up there and accept a lot of mortal wounds. GK is going to be tougher because, Grey Knights hand-to-hand is next level now. Their shooting went way down, but their output of melee combat is crazy with them all. The thing is they all got good AP. All their weapons are multi-damage, and they have access to just shit tons of mortals. So anything they hit is just nuts. So like 5-man squads are going to go into stuff and just murder it.
How are they doing?
Crazy.
How are they getting delivery though? So I haven't read the GK book yet. So walk me through it.
Like almost everything can deep strike too. So and then you've got that, and what you're going to take is
but deep strike is still 9 inches away. Can you get any bonuses to charging?
I'm saying you're bouncing around, but what you do is you take a shit ton of inceptors.
Okay.
the jump packy guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Inceptors used to be really good too. They used to have that like 30-inch move, didn't they? Back in the day, they still have that.
The shunt. Yeah.
Shunt move.
Yeah.
But they couldn't
got a couple
charge. They couldn't charge when they used it.
Right.
That's the kind
now
of
they can
sucky
just
part.
jump around. They still move 12, and the thing is it's not considered a jump back, so they're still bouncing out of vehicles and stuff like that for the extra 3 inches. So they have a huge range. So most of my new lists, and they can combat squad, so you can literally just take 6 5-manners if you take 30 dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are something that I think I'm going to take a ton of in those lists. So they're just really fast.
I still think though with orcs, you got the truck boys, and the HQs definitely hold their own in close combat.
You've got different fights.
They definitely hold their own in close combat for sure.
I'm just saying that I actually think that the matchup versus GK is harder than the Thousand Suns, because I can put up nonsense to make them, smite and everything. And Thousand Suns has a stupid amount of mortals, but they don't punch very well. So you can just tear through their chaff a lot, because orcs do MSU very well, and they still have things like squeak buggies that can take out dumb shit like Zangars in your way. So I actually like the orcs. I like I said, I like the orcs a lot. I liked the orcs playing more than I thought I would like them. Not from a power level, but just from an enjoyment standpoint. Maybe it's just because I played so much of one army. You know what I mean? I dip around a lot, but like they just felt like a very fun army. They had a lot of tools that can do a lot of things, and they're surprisingly good at stuff.
Well, you also approach them very similar to the way you're approaching lists right now in the current game, which is MSU. So, and you enjoy when building an army list is easy because the army wants to play the way that you want to play. And currently in the current edition, MSU is kind of king right now. And you're all about, making sure you can maximize secondaries for the least amount of points possible with getting those monkey units to just do action things. And the orcs do it really well. So I think that resonated with you right away. You're like, oh, commandos, they're great. Storm boys, awesome. These guys can do actions. They're cheap. And if I put a couple more points in them, they're actually like able to slap something. So I think that's where, I think that's where you really got, the love out of it. And then I think when you started playing Goffs, you were like, ooh, bunch of free extra attacks.
Exactly.
On top of it. Like, wow.
And the strength, I didn't think the strength was going to be such a big deal, but it ended up being so much different of the results. You know what I mean? When you go into like a Marine squad and all of a sudden you're just wounding better, you get more attacks. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, these guys are like really good. You know what I mean? Because originally I was just only like Death Scrolls and Bloody Axes and stuff like that. Now I've been more Goffs. I've been back and forth still in that third detachment a lot.
Well, when you're approaching the game with units that either start in reserves and get really, really close, or they start on the table and they're already really, really close, or they can fly across the table and they can run and they can charge, so you have this like massive threat range, why not play an army that is designed for close combat? That should be the way you would play it. If all of those things are the way you're approaching it.
Better anyways, though. It's more enjoyable. I actually think close combat's better for both people, to tell you the truth. Because you're always doing something back and forth. Your opponent kills something. Like gun-liney type armies will just, any army that just mostly relies on shooting can feel bad. If you do really well with a gun line, your opponent's going to have a bad game. If you do really well with a melee army, your opponent can have a bad game, but he always feels like he's killing stuff, so he's involved in the game. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's more fun for both people.
Yeah, no one ever had fun losing to Tau. Like no one ever.
Yeah,
like it's not possible. That's why everyone hates Tau.
Good or bad. Yeah. Because it just sucks to go, what did you do? Absolutely nothing. I got murdered. When you get plowed over by a melee army, you at least killed a couple of those units back. You know what I mean? You were involved. You set up some screens. You killed some stuff. It's just you feel like you're in the army. Also, by the way, another reason I think I love orcs so much. One, I get to yell wog because that's hilariously awesome.
You never yell wog ever.
I've yelled wog. So matter of fact, during the charity hammer, I kept getting other orc players to come to my
Who are you, dude? You're the guy
with me.
Bro, you're the guy that if somebody from 40K messaged you on Facebook about 40K or wrote on your wall, you would like block them from your timeline and from your Facebook. You were like the closetest 40K like player I've ever seen in my life. And now you're wogging at tables like an epic nerd. Like, geez.
Epic legend nerd, by the way. Legend.
That
I'm
is
old
crazy.
enough to be legend. I'm my own epic now. I'm an epic poem. But no, like things like that. The truck boys, the fact that like when you're explaining like how far you can go, You're like, all right, I'm in an Evil Sun's truck, so it goes 13. I get out 5. I go for 3 inches out of the truck.
I could decide to run.
Yeah, and you're like, and then I can do a charge that's rerollable. You're like, oh, that seems good.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
No, they're really good, man. They're really good. I think they're fun. They're really good. I think there's a lot of really cool ways to play them, but you'll never see orcs like you did in the past, and the victory conditions of games now have changed so much, and the killing output has also changed so much. I mean, armies can literally, like, in the past you're like, I have 220 boys, stuff, and you're like, wow, 220 boys, that's a lot of stuff, like years ago, editions previous, and now it's like, you have 220 boys, cool. Like, they're T5, cool.
Yeah,
I still kill all that.
People were talking about that, like, oh my god, like Snakes and I had this argument. He's like, oh, so much T5 boys and this and that. I go, dude, AdMech will literally pick up all of your boys in a turn if that's all you brought. If you brought a mob of boys, you're going to have really short games. Just put them on movement trays because it'll be so much easier to remove them.
Yeah, you're just going to pick it all up. Yeah, like Nick Rose's army list at the last the ETC that Team America won. That list doesn't exist anymore. You can't play lists like that.
Just get murdered. The lethality of the game is crazy. And the thing is that when Dark Eldar came out, Drukhari came out, people just started switching their lists to have more and more volume to deal with it. And then AdMech came out and was just like, hold my beer. I've got all of the volume.
Yeah, actually what happened is a very small group of people changed their lists to mitigate or compete with the times. 98% of people went on the internet to complain about Dark Eldar. And then they got nerfed. And now those 98% of people, including the Dark Eldar players now, are complaining about AdMech, right? So luckily Orcs is not in that category, so I don't anticipate a nerf coming for them. If anything, they might get stronger if they get that supplement book. Do you know if that's coming out still? I believe it is, but I don't.
We've got a couple supplements because we got all the campaign books. They've got the storyline books.
Yeah, so they're gonna get that book come out for Orcs, and then it'll probably have some cool, like, I hope it's not horde based, because if it is, it's useless in the game. I hope it's something else. Like, I hope they get like a special attachment of some kind.
I just hope they get more clan stuff, to tell you the truth.
It'd be really cool to get a psychic power. I'd love a psychic power per clan and an additional strat, maybe an extra strat per clan or something like that. They got the warlord trait. That's great.
The strats are like, so,
yeah, you know what I mean? The strats are whatever.
They're not terrible. They're just okay. They're just okay.
I would almost rather spend all my CP. They're very situational. Yeah, I almost rather spend all my CP on patrols and upgrading things.
That's what I'm already doing.
And
I'm bringing an outrider and two patrols. I don't even care. I start with 5 CP.
Yeah, I don't even care.
It's so weird for me because I'm usually, such a big.
Yeah, you're like,
CP.
we need 9 CP. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I like seeing some of the lists I'm seeing with the knob on the Squigosaur with the upgraded Big Choppa. Even the Relic Big Choppa.
Those guys are so nuts. Playing against them over that weekend, and then I started playing with them, bringing 2 of them, because you can bring 1 unit of Squighog boys, and then you can bring 2 knobs on Squigs for free for no command slots or no slots. Those dudes bang, dude. They get each of them gets 5 dice on the charge. 4s do mortals. So basically, if you charge both of them in, you average 5 mortals. That's crazy, and then your attacks.
Well, the coolest thing about those guys actually is if you can game the system a little bit. So if you have if your opponent has a very small unit, like an action monkey unit or like a forward deploying unit or something that you can double charge with the knob. That's really the key. I think that's like the coolest thing that they can do. That's what the vehicles used to be able to do with orcs. So now the knob can do that. I think it's really, really good. So, I mean, that charge is amazing. So you can get really deep in an army.
The war boss with his relic mega armor mortals, bomb squigs, the knobs, just trying to nickel and dime people with mortals, trying to take out those hard characters, hard units and stuff like that. You can just mortal them out.
I think the burner bomber. I don't know if you've looked at it, but the burner bomber I think is really.
I'm
good.
just so weird about it, just because of the fact that it's just anything that I'd have to bring him as. The thing is you don't know as Buddy Axes whether you're going first or second before you use the strat, and the problem is I just don't want the bomber just getting blown up in my zone all the time.
Yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk, of course. Like most things in the game. There's a risk there. I don't deny that, but the fact that it's model based is just awesome. Like you roll it up, Like you're playing against AdMac. I mean, at least at a minimum, even if it does get blown up at the start of the game, at a minimum, you've impacted your opponent's deployment because they didn't castle then, right? And if you do go first, you get that bomb for sure, and you can fly it off the board if you want. Right. And then you can get the bomb again for sure.
If you could use it at all, it's worth it. My problem is that I don't want. I just don't want it to, just to get killed. Because if you go second, that thing's getting blown up. Because your opponent's going to have anti-tank weapons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're getting maximum return in other areas, and I would say that the value that flyer gives you, going first, and ensuring you get it, or surviving, or having a place to hide hypothetically, or running into an army list that just can't kill it turn one. I mean, there's a lot of lists that just don't have the firepower to kill that turn one, that do exist in the meta right now, that don't have that long range firepower. They have better firepower, short range.
I thought about it, to tell you the truth. It's just I'm so cheap because I want the maximum amount of morons on the board. So,
yeah,
but
it's not even that expensive.
100%.
Yeah, I think the return
No,
is there.
It's cheap. It's not that expensive. It's just like I said. I just feel like most armies that I'm going to play, if I go second, it just gets immediately nuked, and that just bugs me.
Yeah, you get bugged too easily. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's strange.
I mean, I'm not going to be like Alan with his YOLO, just go first. You're like, it works every time. I just go first.
Just take all of the things then. Take the other flyer too then, and then you have a vulnerable safe. Keep it alive. Just take all flyers. Screw it. Double down. Triple down.
Just go with air wing.
Just go air wing. Screw it. I got all the flyers. Every flyer there is. Also, the orc flyers are not bad. I mean, the burner bomber by far is the best in the current meta. Because it's model based.
What's his face is super. Got 30 shots or whatever.
The Wazbama jet thingy, the guy. He just kills tanks. He just murders all tanks. He's just like strength 10 guns, strength 9 guns.
The dude with 30 strength 6 shots. You put 2 super shooters, 2 extra. Super shooters.
Yeah. That's the DACA. That's the DACA jet one.
DACA jet,
I think that's the worst one actually. Because I like Burner Bomb is the most. I like Blitz Bomb is probably the second most because they kill elites.
30 dice though, man.
They kill elites. And then I probably like the Wazbama guy because he kills any tank in the game. Then I'd probably put the DACA jet. He's probably my 4th favorite flyer.
I did think about bringing the that stupid Grot tank and deep striking it. It basically can put 5.
I love that Grot tank. 7. You can take 7 rocket launchers.
So you could you literally just murder.
Yeah, you can 7 D3 shots, and you could deep strike it, and then you could charge it 3D6, and then it does D3 mortal wounds when it charges. Yeah, that thing's crazy. The Grot Mega Tank from Forge World.
Right. Yep. I was thinking about the Grot.
It's not even that expensive. It's like less than 200 points.
Right.
For all those shots.
That thing I actually thought about just because of the fact that any big nonsense, it could just literally pick up. And you put it in a teleporter.
Yeah, you put it in a teleporter and you drop it right next to your kill rig and you're like, what's up? Let's do this.
I love the kill rig, but I'll probably never take it just because of the parking lot. It's just so easy to move block. It's so huge. So there's a couple things that the problem is, again, orcs have a parking lot. That's the problem. The best shit that they have
I don't think it matters, man. You go to a 5-round GT with the kill rig, you harpoon one thing, and then you talk about it for the rest of your life. You just I harpoon this thing, I charge something 12 inches in the opposite direction. This thing couldn't move for the rest of the game. And it's just hilarious. You just laugh forever. Because it's funny. Yes. Or if you get a flyer, they just die. They just die.
Even in combat.
Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. So
the fact that it also has the auto hit if it gets a psychic spell, casts a psychic, it gets D3 shots with the auto hit weapon.
Yeah. It's really good.
I like it. Like I said, there's literally a problem with the orc parking lot. They need more beasts as opposed to making a lot of the shit cavalry. I know they're riding, but they're riding beasts, so I can see him having beast.
I mean, it makes total sense that the Snaga Beast boys are cavalry instead of beast, because they don't. They're called this. Aren't they called the Snaga Cavalry boys? Oh no, they're called Snaga Beast boys. My bad.
I love everything about that. It just sucks that there's just too many things that can't go through walls, man. And in the terrain right now, if you look at the GW terrain, the FLG terrain with placed out, people can just move block the shit out of you. You know what I mean? So I literally played an orc dude my first round with my Dark Eldar in the Charity Hammer, and literally we didn't play the game for 3 rounds because I literally went bam, bam, bam and move blocked him for 3 turns in a row.
Yeah, if you move block your opponent and they can't get primaries or they can't get more primaries than you, the game's over because you're going to get your secondaries because there's no interaction there.
Well, we were playing
And
battle lines, so it didn't matter.
and it
I was
doesn't
just
matter that
literally,
you're
he
throwing
had one
units
objective, I
away.
had three.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter that you're throwing units away. It's a flaw of the game right now.
Yes, exactly. I
fine.
love this. Hunter's like, I love the orc names for stuff. Docket Jet Killer Man, Ass Blaster Snaz Wagon. I need to definitely field an Ass Blaster Snaz Wagon.
Ass blasters.
Eloise, they definitely need more dinosaurs.
Yeah.
There's never enough dinosaurs on the table. I will always bring the Beast Boss and Squigosaur. 1, he's really awesome. 2, he's riding a fucking dinosaur. So that's going on
I feel like if I went to the Orlando tournament, I could have definitely made it work with a kill rig and a burn a bomber, and I mean against the plethora of Witsec that was there, plus Art of War people, I could have probably crushed with both the Grot kill tank and a burn a bomber.
My thing is that you have X amount of things that you can bring that have the vehicle or cavalry keyword in that army. So you just have to trade out which ones you're taking, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's just you can have this much space. You know what I mean? And then after that, if you want to bring a kill rig, well, you didn't.
I remember your first Oric attempt at a list. You like wrote a list,
all vehicles,
and then I was looking at it. I'm like, how are you gonna move anywhere? It's just like Brad's list is like 16 like Squig Hog boys, 5-6 trucks. The Death Kill Award track, like 3 buggies, and the dinosaur guy, the dinosaur war boss. And I'm like, none of this is going to move anywhere. Like, you can't.
I got them. I really enjoyed my own deployment zone.
Brad calls me. He's like, yeah, I couldn't leave my deployment zone with anything. It was like turn 7. It was like turn 7, and I didn't cross half board.
If you would have ever left.
Yeah. Like, this army's so good if I can leave and participate in the game. But I can't. Stuck here.
At all.
Stuck here, man. So
how long? Forever.
No, that's funny. I like that. But yeah, orcs are good. I think we're gonna do a full analysis of Gentleman Gaming Style, which is like quarter of analysis of Thousand Suns and Grey Knights next week, because I think Jimmy wants to get on. I'd love to get Daniel's take too and see what those guys are thinking. But ultimately,
I actually like the Thousand Suns.
What's your first impressions? I got to get the books and read them, so I'm gonna go buy those.
My first take is like they don't hit very hard. They've got it. They made it so that they basically treat Zangors like Poxwalkers kind of deal. You have to take 1 rubric per Zangor, because otherwise I would just take max Zangors and Psychers. So but they do stupid amounts of mortals. They have a really cool mechanic though. The ritual mechanic is super, super cool. You get ritual points per turn and you can do shit with them, kind of like the old Cornkin. So I don't know what's happening in the background. What's going on?
Nothing. I was laughing because Hunter brought up the Kamehameha, and then I was thinking about like the Thursday show we did on Frontline, and we just kept talking about Dragon Ball Z for like a solid 10 minutes. So I started laughing because I was thinking about that. And then I was thinking about you, like playing an army that was like constantly trying to like power up a spirit ball. You know, like,
yes.
You never got to it, and the game ended, and you're just like, oh, sorry, you lost. So it got me laughing. But I was listening to you talk about Zangors. But it sounds like they're not as cool as they ever were. Because Zangors, in my mind, Zangors were the best unit ever when you could redeploy them at the beginning of the game and then like put misery on your opponent. So I would love to see something like that. Not like move and all that stuff. Like maybe tone it down a little bit from what it was before. But I did enjoy the fact that Chaos had some Alpha Strike. So it would be cool to see if you can redeploy a Zangor unit again. Maybe they can't move. It's not pregame. Maybe they just redeploy.
Like with the crystal,
like
Dark
once,
Crystal Matrix?
Yeah, like redeploy once and they're like 8-9 inches away, whatever, like normal. But then like there's a way to give them buffs to charging, or maybe like that reroll you get or something like that. Like that'd be cool. Like bring something like that back where you justify taking a Zangor unit. Because right now there's not really. I gotta read the.
You need shit to get in the way. Austin just threw his initial list. Dude, you got Vortex Beasts. This gets full points.
Vortex Beasts.
Just because he put 2 Vortex Beasts in it. See, I think I'm gonna bring 5 Terminators, not 10. But I need more junk. I'm like not gonna lie. I think I'm either going with 5 or 6 casters. I'm literally gonna murder people with psychics. I'm just gonna go crazy. It's gonna be all psychic all the time. I'm gonna cast there's so many powers now. They got schools of 9. Be like, dudes, shit's happening. I'm gonna cast wiggity waggity woogity smaggity mortal wounds. That's a real thing.
I love it. So what do you think? How is the meta going to respond to all this psychicness? Are we going to see assassins come back in the game? Are we going to see sisters start taking
That's
More
my
of
only thing with
the
Thousand
more of
Suns.
the
I think
assassin
the
thing.
Sisters just shuts them down like horribly. Sisters just destroys that army. The Sisters would make me sad. And you can do other things with the Thousand Suns. I mean,
That's what I
like
was gonna say. Same
Austin's list
thing with
already
the
has
sisters. Yeah.
nonsense. You know what I mean? But like, right now, I just feel like Sisters is a horrible matchup because they have so many denies and auto denies and everything else. So that would take my fun, the wind out of my sails of Thousand Suns. Not really. I don't think the T Suns Terminators do enough. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're durable. They can do some shit, but the problem is that like Grey Knights exist, Drakari exist. I think that those guys kind of pound town them for point per point.
What's GW's zero tolerance policy? We got a comment that says, "What's your thoughts on GW's zero tolerance?" Is this like about alcohol at the table?
I hope it's not alcohol at the table. I can't do a tournament like without alcohol at the table.
I have no idea what it even is. So I know GW threw the Orlando event.
Where is this? Who said the GW?
Oh, you're probably on Facebook. I'm on Restream. I'm on the Restream chat.
I have to go to YouTube now.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Hold on, I'll be there in a moment.
Oh, no printed or other company stuff. Oh yeah, we talked about that in the past.
The thing with that is
I mean, I feel like the rule of cool typically works, even though they released that announcement. Obviously, if you go out and you just buy other people's models and you go, hey, I'm going to play this, they're going to say no because that's not our IP. But if you put effort into conversions using their bits and using other stuff and painting it appropriately or painting it to a certain degree that, like, you know, you're real about this, not sprayed like 3 colors, and you send them a picture, I'd like to see an example of where they say no. Like if you even have like a very small part of their bits in your army, and then you've done other things, I would be curious to see if they say no. I would also be curious if like you have one unit and you're like, hey, I do have one unit. It's a third party model. Here it is in an email. I'd be curious to see them say no. Like, cause I don't think it exists. I think a lot of people are overreacting based on their overall statement, but you have to remember that they make rules so that they can hold people accountable to them. They probably will also make exceptions to those rules. So until I see somebody say like, hey, this is my army and GW said no, I'm not going to like jump all over them. Not trying to defend them or anything. I think everything should be allowed.
I think they just want you to buy their models.
Yeah. So I mean, they're just trying to protect their IP, right? So yeah, I get it.
So it's I can see stuff. I do like the Terminators, Austin. I'm just worried about other things that are super strong hitting them for less points. I'm just cheap and Terminators cost a lot comparatively. So that I'm bringing at least 5 minimum. And
yeah, Brad, Austin, Brad, but you know this already, man. Come on. Brad's all about min-max. Like what's the number of max units I can have? That's it. That's Brad's philosophy in a list. He literally like starts at the lowest and then he figures out like lowest unit size possible. Like here's my lowest unit size possible for the unit I want to bring. And then goes, how many units can I totally get? And then he goes, okay, this feels like enough or not enough or too much. And then he goes, okay, I could dial this back a little bit and put some more points here to make this more efficient. Yeah. But that's pretty much how he approaches it. You know, he's got a simple mind, you know.
This is true.
And you know, when you have a simple mind, that's how you gotta approach things.
A brain broke, dog.
Yeah, agreed. So Nightspawn said he agrees with our take. Thanks, man. And then he said, what if GW doesn't make any models anymore?
The safest thing that I've got,
they're a modeling company. So
that's what I'm saying. But the safest thing that I've done for the GW thing, even when I played on some of their streams and stuff, is to use just other GW models. And
Brad. He's saying, what if they don't make models anymore for the model you want? So if the model you want, like you don't have a model,
you still make that model out of. You just
gotcha.
You don't make a third party. I'm saying you use their stuff, or at least you tell them they use their stuff. You use Necromunda. You use.
I just think they won't. Yeah, I think that's probably like an area where they'll be most lenient. Like if they don't make the model and you do like a reasonable conversion, I think that's where they'll be most lenient. That's my guess because they don't actually have a model. So like, what are they trying to defend at that point, right? Like, It doesn't make sense, you know. So
100%.
So I'd love to see exact scenarios, right? I don't like to talk like in hyper, in like out of context. Like if there really is a scenario, I can say, okay, yeah, GW made the right call or the wrong call. But I would assume that if they don't have a model, they'll let you pretty much get away with more in that scenario than if they had a model.
For
right?
sure.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm using I used all my prize support in the last couple tournaments just to get more AOS stuff to turn into 40K. AOS models, by the way, are way
freaking
cooler
amazing
than the
Freaking
GW, the
amazing.
40. And there's a lot of really cool, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool 40K models.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah. If there's
the
one
Age
thing
of
you take
Sigmar-
away from today's podcast, Age of Sigmar models are better, and Age of Sigmar is a better game. Those are the two things you can take away.
Well, I didn't know about the Age of Sigmar is a better game, but they definitely have better models.
It is a better game by far.
But
the community,
those
40K,
models are sick. The
community
entire
40K
line,
pulls
for
you
instance,
in.
my Dark Eldar, the entire line of the Daughters of Cain,
Oh yeah,
and the demon and the vampires and stuff, they're literally
all of them.
better
You could literally
Dark
name
Eldar.
things forever. The troll models are better. The Necron dudes are better. The Obsidians, whatever. So I mean, I really like the models a lot.
But I think that we're converting all of that stuff into, when I say we, I mean Kramer. I don't know why I love putting the we into this.
Why do you make Kramer do slave labor? What's wrong with you, man?
He wants to do it. Kramer also has now just said fuck it, and he doesn't even try to put together like his own. He's in charge of like doing all the model shit, and I make all the what are we playing is what I get when we're going to tournaments. Like basically, he's just like fuck it, I'm all in on your list, Brad. Let's do this.
That's cool.
And then he just makes two of whatever we're doing.
That's
I
cool.
just get the models.
Yeah, I the whole time I was making that Dark Eldar stuff for you, I was like, man, this is only going to be relevant for like one tournament, and I was so sad. So you got to constantly make more stuff. Yeah.
Kind of.
If
The
you're
Dark
chasing.
Eldar, I actually like Dark Eldar a lot now that I actually didn't have as much fun with the liquefier spam type list, which I still think was really, really good. Obviously, I did well with it.
Yeah, it's boring.
But yeah, but the like doing
There's
all the
like
crazy
zero
combat-
interaction with that army. You don't even get your models out to shoot me. Like a little dumb flyer thing comes in my face, and then my unit's gone. And then another little dildo flyer comes in my face, and my other unit's gone. So it's like even less interaction. Like you were talking earlier, Brad, about how people don't like getting shot off the board. This is even worse. You don't even have your models on the board.
You're like, I get these out, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
They're over there.
Well, you don't need to
But no.
because you're open top, so you just shoot.
Right. Well, the new armies feel like way, way more exciting. You're doing all kinds of crazy combats and everything else. And Drukhari, you're still doing super well. It's a super good army. But now it actually has like decisions to be made as opposed to just derp derp. Derp derp.
Yep.
And you never want to derp derp. Derp derp is never the best way. So
How many times you can say dirt,
that's
bro?
what you should get from today's podcast. Don't derp. Derp derp is never good. Alan had real points, then I came with my point, which is derp derp.
Don't
is never
derp
good.
derp. That's
No
my call.
derp derp.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, most of your army, I mean, the good thing is, though, there's a lot of events that are, you know, so, yeah, there, the Alpine Cup, yeah, so there's a lot of events that are outside of GW's purview, so, like, you could run whatever, you know, you want to run in those tournaments, so.
Well, I need a
lot more lenient
future
rules.
Alan, I need future Alan predictions.
I was going to ask you, by the way, before future Allen predictions, do you even have an orc army yet?
No,
Oh.
I own 0 orc models.
How are you playing orcs then? Aren't you going to play orcs?
Yeah.
All right. So am I working on that for you at some point? You're just going to randomly call me?
Yeah.
Like, hey, where's my orc
I
army?
don't know why you keep asking me crazy stuff.
All right.
I let you have the
I was
baby.
curious if Kramer's working on an orc army for you, or what is Kramer working on exactly? But go ahead. I'm sorry. So what were you going to say? Predictions from Alan about what?
I need future Alan. I need Alan pajama jamas.
What's up?
I need to, with the plethora of 3D printers coming out, and they're getting better and better and cheaper.
Yep.
But almost every hobbyist, you know what I mean, is just going to eventually have a 3D printer in my mind.
Yep.
What do you think will happen in the future with this as we have just everybody having 3D printers? Like here, for instance, you just got a really awesome 3D printer. You know what I mean? That's coming out. So but what's going to happen in the future when people just have quality 3D printers that print out, you know, efficiently print them out? Like right now, a lot of people have 3D printers that are small, that print out models slowly and whatnot, and they're not like super efficient to print out an army. But once people have like, you know, when the cost comes down, which they are, everybody has one what's going to happen to the future of just miniature game type things with people like GW trying to enforce their stuff. But man, if everybody has one, are they going to go cut models in half? Like, what are they going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I unfortunately for Games Workshop, they're going to have to really think about this in terms of their, their LRP, their long range plan for their organization. And, if I was involved at Games Workshop, I'd be thinking about it now and figure out what their policy is going to, like what their approach to this is going to be. This is a disruption in the market. So this is like, this is like a question from like 94, like, hey, so CD-ROMs are getting more popular. What are VHS companies going to do about the CD-ROM, right? That's literally the conversation we're having right now. So I mean, what I would say is like when you get a 3D printer, and there's going to be people who are very, there's going to be people who are very interested in that and they get it first, early adopters, and there's going to be people who are, reject it for a little while until it becomes as common as, CDs became, and then Blu-rays became, and now we don't even have any of it. We just stream, right? So it will get common. Games Workshop will have to think about what their approach is going to be. I think they're going to probably sell STL files. And I think what happens for everybody, like now that I have a 3D printer, the last thing I want to do is recreate a Games Workshop model. Like I don't want to do it. Like if I really need Games Workshop
creative
models,
dude, you like your own stuff. I'm talking about more
I think the majority of people who will get 3D printers early, like let's say early adopters and first
early.
adopters.
I'm talking about when it comes mainstream. Yeah. You're past early adoption.
Well, I think then those people will buy a 3D printer and then they'll have to create a subscription plan. They'll get the Games Workshop will create a subscription plan which provides STL files to them and they can just print their own models at home. I think that will happen eventually.
You think that they will eventually just adopt the STL model?
Yeah. I mean, my 8K printer in the garage will print models better than Games Workshop quality, like easily. It's not even. Right. Well, I don't think it's even close.
At that point in time, they're eventually going to have to change how their business model is done. You know what I mean? Because either that or they just make no money. You know what I mean?
No, they need to
very limited amount.
Yeah, no, they need to create an STL repository of files. You can purchase them. You purchase the STL. I think it also is a really interesting business model for them. I don't know why they wouldn't consider it because in fact, if they make really, really cool models, people are going to want to buy those STLs. And all they have to do is figure out how to, there's a lot of really good technology out there that ensures that people don't share that stuff. You can figure that out on how to make sure that each STL file is unique. Each one has a code. Obviously, some people are going to break it, right? Like today, you can find torrents on the internet and you can download movies illegally and pirate songs illegally.
Sure, but you can do any of that. I mean, they just have to look at something that printing is going to become more and more mainstream. They've already upped the technology of it. They've already lowered the cost of them. Yeah. I think that it's just a matter of time before it's one of those things that you just have.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate
you have an airbrush and you have a 3D printer kind of thing if you're a model. You know what I mean?
I think the unfortunate circumstance though is that they might not be able to stop the actual manufacturing of models for a very long time, regardless of how 3D printing goes, because there will be a subset of the population that's always going to want to go buy the box.
Yeah. They will always have
sprue that. And everything.
You have to embrace the rest of it, or you're just going to lose out on a huge amount of money, or you're going to be fighting some losing battle all the time.
Yeah. I think that's definitely the way it's going to go. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, you can already today you can recreate 40K models that are indistinguishable. You would not be able to understand that they're 3D printed. You can actually also use a resin that is extremely same in terms of weight to the plastic GW uses. So you can even get to the point where like you can't even tell from a weight perspective that they're different. So all of that can be controlled.
I would take I would take with some of the models that you do for sure when you're trying to do it, that I would take that chance. Like I would bet that people could not figure out what was real and what was not real, I guess.
They can't. I personally don't print any GW stuff. Not that I can't, but I just find that the models on Mini War, like my Mini War, whatever that War Store is for STL files, they're amazing. Like there's so many cool other models. So I think like just printing those are really cool. I printed my wife a Darth Vader pen holder like a couple days ago and painted it up. So like that's a cool idea of something that you can make too. Like you can make anything. Like it like opens up this whole other door of a hobby. Like it's not just miniatures anymore. It's definitely not 40K anymore. It's not Games Workshop anymore. It's this whole other thing. and then you kind of get immersified with the potential of that other thing. So it gets really interesting. Like right now, I'm subscribed to Titan Forge Miniatures and Arch Villain Gaming. It's like $10 a month. Cisco, if you're subscribed to the same ones, let's talk so that we don't pay the same amount. Cause like we could just pay, we could pay extra for the ability to share and sell the STL files. Like one of us could, which is cheaper than paying individually. I think, I don't know. I got to look into it. But yeah, no, I'm already subbed on some of these and they're really good. So they're fun. They're really fun. And the artists come out with cool stuff every month. So GW do the exact same process, right? Like, hey guys, here's our STL files for Jan. And think about that too, like how cool that is. Like, all the orc models are just out. Like, you can't find them in the store. Cool, you could buy the STL,
right?
And you could print them.
Well, that's
right?
my thing. Is that I think that's the way of the future, anyways. And the thing is that I'm totally okay with subscriptions that give me value. You know what I mean? So I would pay that subscription. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with a lot of this. If you're providing me with something that I like, I will stay. And the thing is that's how you get that recurring revenue all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. I might not buy models every month.
Yeah, they should first make sure their subscription to their app for their actual game is sound before they get involved in this. But yeah, they got a long way to go. But yeah, you're right, Brad. In the future, this will be a thing. So they'll have to.
I just think that there's no way. Maybe there is because they do some they do some weird shit anyways.
Carmona said,
subscribe to Brad's OnlyFans, and that's the only thing you need to be subscribed to, Carmona.
So
there's no reason to ever be subscribed to anything else.
So he knows about your lonely night in Kalamazoo.
Chester After Dark is the only place you need to go. Yes, yes, God.
Cack. He said cack. Can't spell. That's from eating at Subway. That's what it does to your brain. Messes you up.
Fucking bread, that bread aroma.
Honestly, so James, I'm so glad you're on the podcast today in the chat. So just a quick story before we get offline here. So I had, as some people know, I know James knows, I had a baby, and we had a close friend who gave us a gift, like a baby shower gift, and they gave us gift cards. Like they clearly were at Jewel and they didn't know what to get me, so they just picked random gift cards off the rack, and one of them was Subway. So it was a $25 gift card to Subway. So I go to Subway. And oh my God, I couldn't believe how much food I can get for $25. I can literally feed a family of 8. Like I eat a lot, but like if you go to Jersey Mike's and you get one sub at Jersey Mike's, it's like $18. And you go to Subway, you get like a sub, it's like free. They're like throwing me the sub, okay? So I spent the whole 25 thing because I never want to go back in there again. So I spent the whole $25 gift card in there. And by the way, all of that food is terrible, James. Terrible. Like I tried to eat those sandwiches, I can't eat any of them. I hated every single sandwich that I ordered. All of them. They were all inedible. I just want to make sure you know that. So
you're gonna kill him, bro.
But next time I see you, I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna get you a Subway gift card.
So much. We should just send those constantly.
We should do that actually. We should have like a giveaway. Like if we ever get serious in this whole like streaming thing and it's not just me and you hanging out. Like if we ever want to take this more seriously,
it's only going to be we're going to do.
We just do like raffles of Subway gift cards.
Carmona Subway gift cards.
Yeah, the Carmona gift card. If I ever throw a tournament again, the sportsmanship award would be the Carmona gift card. That'd be the sportsmanship award, and there'd be a Subway gift card.
Just Subway gift cards. Doesn't matter. If that's all you need.
Yeah, I just think it's funny. Potbellies is the way to be. Nah, bro. Jersey Mike's, bro. Jersey Mike's is. But I do like Potbellies, but Jersey Mike's is the way to be. It's no joke. It's like the best.
Settle down, Carmona. I don't know why you're trying to say you hate Subway. Everybody knows you love it.
Yeah, come on and get the hell out of here, bro. We asked you what's your favorite smell in your entire life.
He's like fucking.
So for those who don't know, bro, we had a question. What's your favorite smell of your entire life? And he said, when I walk into a Subway and they're baking bread. That's what he said. So it's like
that's what dreams are made of.
Yeah, like gotta make sure the people know the truth here. Trying to bow out over here. But anyways, Orlando, we didn't talk about Orlando. Do we need to? I like I said, it was a WITSEC with Art of War guys. So I don't know.
Art of War took the top 4 spots. There you go.
Yeah.
They did do it with 4 different armies, though, which I think is impressive. They literally did it with 4 completely different factions, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool. Congrats to those guys. Where's the team to beat them? Where's team? I was going to say, where's Team Happy?
Is he happy?
There's got to be a team somewhere, you know? I mean, it's funny. It's funny how, like, the times go. Like, I can probably name, like, the best gaming group that existed for a period of, like, 2 to 3 years over the course of like the last, 18 years? Yeah, 20 years almost, right? It's like a different group that was like good, like that was kind of like leading the meta in the country. And
hey, man, remember when Codex Toledo was good?
Yeah, I do remember when Codex Toledo was good. That's when that guy Mike used to play, who's like way better than you. You suck compared to that guy.
That Munchler dude was a legend.
That Munchler dude was a legend, bro. And Greg beat you for Lord of 40K. He still has that. So he's got that
it's in
over
his
you.
safe.
Yeah, it's in his safe. It's got that file. That you bowed down to him as Lord of 40K.
He had one model left with one moon.
Yeah.
Team Brown Eye of Dare.
Team Brown Eye of Dare. That's not Louise. Don't talk about your husband that way. That's not nice. But yeah, no, I remember all of it, man. I remember even when the boys. You remember the boys guys from the Rochester area? I remember those guys were big back when GW was running events back in the day.
They were good.
You got to reminisce, man. Games Workshop's starting to run events again, okay? Last time Games Workshop was running events,
Dude,
Hank was the best player in the country.
40K podcast, 40K radio shirt today. I should have worn my 2002 GT shirt with the towel on the front.
You're super old. I always forget how old you are.
It's fucking old.
All right. Anything else, Brad?
Let's dance our way out of here.
Oh yeah, by the way, Pete, your army